The boy was simply washing his hands with water, but to his shock, scales began to grow on his skin. Afraid of scaring his mother, he quickly shoved his hand into his pocket. Yet when he opened his palm again, the scales had completely disappeared. From that moment on, strange things started happening. Whenever he touched someone he liked, a burst of static electricity would spark between them. Even more bizarre, his hand would stick to them with an odd grip. No matter how hard he shook it, he couldn't let go. At first, his parents had no idea, but one day, they walked into his room and found their son hanging upside down from the ceiling. Terrified, they rushed him to the hospital, but after a full checkup, all of the boy's test results came back perfectly normal. Still, as time passed, the boy grew convinced something was very wrong. Every time he touched water, scales would mysteriously appear on his skin. So he and his friend began to study the strange scales. After some research, his friend discovered that the scales on his hand were nearly identical to fish scales. To test their theory, the friend suggested he try talking to a fish. To their surprise, the fish immediately jumped out of the tank. That was all the proof his friend needed. He was sure the boy was a merman, or more accurately, a descendant of a mermaid. Determined to learn the truth, the boy asked his parents about his origin, but instead of answering, they changed the subject. Frustrated, the boy dipped his hand into the sink. In the next instant, scales began spreading up his arm. With no choice left, his parents finally told him the truth. 13 years ago, they had found him while sailing at sea. Unable to have children of their own, they believed the boy was a gift from above. So they brought him home and raised him as their son. They had planned to tell him everything when he was older, but they never expected his body to change in such strange ways. The boy was stunned. Could he really be the child of a mermaid? The next day, he returned to the sea where he had been found. Suddenly, a mermaid rose from the water. But the moment the boy saw her, a sharp pain struck his heart. Before he could react, scales covered his arms, and then his feet turned into a long, shimmering tail.